For the moment, let's go down back into the sports wormhole, if you will, and to talk a little bit of sports and his personal situation. He is one of the best running backs in the National Football League, and pleased to have back here on the Rich Eisen Show one of the many Wisconsin Badgers who no doubt wanted to call me up. Or should I? I've got the J.J. Watt mug right here. Should I put the J.J. Watt mug right there?
Right
yeah,
now.
this cup holds Rich Eisen's tears. Wisconsin 35, Michigan 14 is what J.J. Watt sent me. So anytime we've got somebody of Melvin Gordon on the show with where he went to school back here on the Rich Eisen Show, we'll put this mug out here. How are you, Melvin?
Good, big dog. How are you?
I'm good. I have my this mug that J.J. Watt gave me that I have to put on the desk. I guess anytime a Wisconsin Badger calls into the show, that this cup holds my tears. So that's what it says.
There you go.
That's what it says. How are you doing, Melvin? What's going on in your world? You well?
Nothing. Just at home. Trying to work out when I can. Just trying to stay out the way, man.
Okay. And everybody in your world healthy, happy? Everybody good as far as you know, or knocking on wood?
Sir. Yes, sir. Blessed, man. Just trying to keep it that way.
Glad to hear that. I met you. As you know, I met your mom. Seems like a lifetime ago, but it was last summer when you were getting set to play. And I know that you said at the time, man, I want to stay here in Southern California and play for the Chargers, but I just don't know. What led you to your decision that I know you're talking a lot about that lately, and I appreciate you calling in one more time. Looking back right now, you said you regretted that decision. Well, can you put a little bit more meat on that bone for me, Melvin?
Just for what I wanted to do as a player on the field, and just kind of my mark and where I wanted to be, and looking down the road, I think when I'm looking at my statistics and everything, it's like, man, if I'd have started the whole year out, where would I be as a player? Now. But, obviously I can't take that back. But as far as the contract itself, still wasn't easy on that. So that's definitely not the reason. It's more so, my mark as a player.
Right. And then walk me through your free agency period here, Melvin. You want to talk about unique times. What was your free agency tour, in quotes, I guess, like?
It was crazy, man. Just seeing everybody go off the board and just kind of, just talking to this team and talking to that team, and it was just crazy, man. It's not really, what it's cracked up to be. You got a couple teams that's really interested, and it's a couple teams that just want to see what they can get you for. And I don't know, man. It's really frustrating. It's not as cool as for us, as it is for fans. It's really stressful, I would say, for the players. But it is what it is. But it was it was stressful.
I'm sorry to hear that. So what was it stressful? Was part of the stress and the fact that you couldn't visit anybody, I guess, and face to face? I mean, what was it? Were you talking to people, Zooming? What was that part of it like, Melvin?
I mean, just I guess trying to just talk to people. It sucks not being able to fly into the teams and meeting people and people seeing you firsthand, and I think that I think that hurt maybe a couple players, maybe not actually being able to go in and people getting to examine you and look at you and get a feel for you or bring you in the film room and see really how bright you are as a player. So that obviously didn't help, but just being in my position group, as a running back, being in the market is not the easiest. It's not the easiest thing, We're just not the position that's liked right now, and going to the market, as a back, open market as a back is just, this point in time right now, timing is just not. It's just not good.
Well, I'm Melvin Gordon here on the Rich Eisen Show. I guess part of that is maybe that it's not that your position isn't liked. It's just that your position is liked at somebody coming out of college, not just because of youth, but because of financials. And I'll give you the floor. What does a player with a few years at that position have that you think benefits your position that maybe some kid out of college isn't, as somebody who came off the campus at Wisconsin is now maybe a little bit more wizened throughout the years? Melvin?
Well, I mean, they are right. Running back is, it is a field position. You know, you go out there, it's definitely feel more natural. You know, kind of position, if you got it, you got it. But, you know, it is a lot of smarts that go into, you know, everything. You know, knowing protection, knowing, you know, what to read, having really a good feel of where the line's supposed to be and how they flow and when you're supposed to go back, or knowing coverages and knowing, okay, if they get in this type of coverage, you know, I know if I take it backside, I got this corner one-on-one. It's predetermining things a lot early to make you play a little faster. And just like little knacks and things with quarterbacks, you know, that depends on, you know, who you're with. But it's more than just going out there and just playing. It's really a lot that goes into it. And obviously the protection is the number one thing. You know, one of my coaches told me, you know, if a player can't learn protection within the, you know, the first 2 years, then he pretty much don't have a chance. So it's just a lot of things that really go into the position, man, rather than just getting the ball and running. Like I said, it is a natural position. You know, it's really instincts. But if you really want to take your game to the next level, it's really a lot that kind of goes into it.
Melvin Gordon here on the Rich Eisen Show. And it's interesting, I'm sure last year when you were looking for a new contract from the Chargers, you were pointing to the Zeke contract, I'm sure, once that was final.
Oh, yeah.
And also the Gurley contract that now is null and void with him in Atlanta for 1 year's $6 million. What advice would you give to Derrick Henry right now, Melvin?
Oh, man. You know, it's tough. I would tell him to go play. Obviously, he's, you know, that's $10 million. He's making a lot more than I was supposed to make. I was, you know, supposed to make $5 million, but he's making $10 million. In Tennessee, you know, I really don't know how the taxes is, but I'm pretty sure they're not, you know, as bad as Cali's are.
Right.
So, you know, it's tough, man, because they wore him out last year, and you can only think if they play him the same way. When contracts talk, when the talks come up, they're gonna be like, well, he's wore down, and then they'll use it against you. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, man. It's a tough position to be in all honesty, man. And like I said before, I really don't wish that situation on any player, but here we are again. You know, and I have no idea. You know, I haven't talked to him, and I have no idea what he's gonna do. But I would just have to, you know, tell him to just weigh out his options. You know, just think how much you could bring in, and if you sit out, how much can it really hurt you? I think he's going into a market next year that, you know, a lot of backs are going to get paid. I think Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara, all those guys are up. So, you know, you could play into that factor. If I do sit out and wait, those guys will get paid. So then I have, you know, better numbers and you know, to go off of. It's a lot of factors that he can, you know, that he has that I didn't. So, I don't know. I would just have to tell him to go with his heart.
Another factor that he has that you didn't, Chris Brockman, do you want to inform him of the state income tax law in Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee has no state income tax.
There you have it, Melvin.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
That's several percent right there. Difference between California and
13%.
And Tennessee. That's a large percentage. And then, before we turn the page to Denver and why you chose them and how you chose them, in the conversation in your press conference, in your conference, you said that you ruined relationships in Los Angeles or with the Chargers. What are you talking about when you said you ruined relationships, you thought, with your holdout?
Just like I said, with people, like, you know, just upstairs and things like that. And like I said, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't, but it just kind of, it felt that way. I felt tension. As I said, you know, I sat out, you know, and, you know, they said what they said, I said what I said. You know, obviously it was a big media frenzy. So it was definitely tension. Maybe more so on my part. You know, I do overthink things a lot, and maybe I just felt that way. And you know, I'll repeat the said, I respect the owner a handful because, like I said, after the Tennessee game, he came out and, you know, I didn't tell him to walk up to me. No one told him to walk up to me. You know, maybe he felt the tension and he just walked up to me and he just let me know, Melvin, I'm happy that you're back. And that meant a lot to me for the owner to come up, to me and say that. And that's kind of when things start, smoothing out for me. So maybe it was just in my head, but I felt tension and I felt like maybe I ruined, some relationships were holding out, so like I said, man, it is what it is. But there was some tension I felt.
So you were referring to management, not in the locker room, or was there some in the locker room with your teammates?
No, I mean, maybe I upset some guys, but I mean, there was no tension with me and the fellas because I stayed in touch with them throughout the whole time. I made sure that, I can't connect with, I don't have everybody upstairs number, and we're going through negotiations, so I didn't think it was proper really to reach out to them. But my teammates, I have access to them, and I talked to them, throughout the whole time. I made sure I stayed in contact with them. I stayed around. Maybe I flew up there sometimes and I kicked it with them. When they had free time, I made sure I stayed close with them so the tension wouldn't be as bad with them as I felt like with everyone else.
That's why I wanted to ask you. I was wondering if the coaching staff made you feel that way too when you returned.
It was probably a little tension. Probably not within my coach, within my position coach. Coach Lynn, I think he was good about everything. If he did have tension, I couldn't really tell. But I could tell maybe for some other coaches that they were probably a little hot about the situation. I kind of felt like some coaches didn't even speak to me anymore. I kind of felt like that, or it was kind of forced, maybe. But my position coach was the head coach, the position coach. They were solid. My position coach, man, I have a great relationship with him, and he was just happy to have me back in the room to help lead the guys. And like I said, I didn't think Coach Land had any tension at all, and if he did, I didn't know it. But you could definitely tell some tension between some other coaches.
And right in that room, you and Austin Eckler got along well. I mean, he just got paid by the team. Is that an issue for you, Melvin?
No, I mean, he deserves it, man. He's a hard worker. Austin, since he got in, man, he's been grinding, and I've been helping him along the way, and it's crazy to see how he came in, how he's grown as a player. A lot of people try to, put us against each other, but he's a great player, man. He deserves everything he has coming for him. I know his mom is happy, his family, just everyone, man. So I'm excited for him. And, like I said, he's well-deserved.
Melvin Gordon here on the Rich Eisen Show. Look, Melvin, my phrase that my mom always says and definitely taught me is the phrase, everything happens for a reason. That's what I've always been brought up to believe. And now here you are. I think you're in a terrific spot. I think you and Philip Lindsay are going to be a dynamite combination. How have you been sold by the Broncos on how this is going to work once the football is snapped, Melvin?
I really, honestly, I really don't know exactly how, we're going to be used. I honestly don't know. I do know they're a great organization, and they have some great players around, watch film, got a nice O-line, nice system, even though I think they're changing up some things with the new offensive coordinator. But as far as, how they're going to use us, I have no idea. I have no idea. But hopefully we be the best 1-2 punch that we could be. I'm going in. I'm going to just do what I can do, and they put the ball in my hands and make plays, man. As far as how we're going to run things or do things, I don't know. I would have a good sense of that if, we got to go to OTAs and things like that.
Right.
But, with that being pushed back, and probably not even, with the thoughts not even happening.
So
that's a really hard question.
Okay, so if that is still a question mark for you, then why did you choose Denver? What attracted you to the Broncos?
I thought they had a good system, man. Like I said, I played against them twice a year. I've only heard great things about them. Great owner, really close with Vaughn. And like I said, I've watched them up close. I've seen Lindsay up close. I've seen how they block for him. Up close, and they open up holes, man. And obviously, I'm not the best with change. I like to. I'm really not. I like going somewhere, where I'm comfortable and I kind of know. what's going on. And obviously, like I said, I go up against them twice a year, so that's the most comfortable spot for me. And like I said, I like the system, and I feel like, with that line, they're young, but I feel like that line, I could make something happen.
What about the fact that they take on the Chargers twice a year? Did that appeal to you, Melvin?
Well, I knew I'd play the Chargers twice a year. I sat down and was like, oh, do I get to play Chargers twice? Like, that wasn't, one of the bigger factors. But I knew, hey, if I go to Denver, I do get to play the Chargers twice a year, see my brothers twice a year. So that'll be dope. Like I said, it's no. I feel no type of way towards the Chargers, man. I understand that it's a business. I feel no type of way towards my brother. That's there. Great relationship with all those guys in the locker room. But it is going to be dope to play them twice a year.
All right. Hey, Melvin, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. It's been too long. Let's stay in touch. Congrats on that deal with Denver. Like I said, I think you and Philip together are going to be a heck of a 1-2 punch. And I can't wait to watch it go. And you deserve all the success that you want, Melvin.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me every time.
Right back at you. Thank you. Let's stay in touch. Stay healthy. That's Melvin Gordon, Denver Broncos running back.